This is my presentation about Grenville Dodge, made by myself, Kate Fogelsong. So this is a picture of Grenville Dodge and what he would look like from back then. Grenville Dodge got married to Anne Brown in the year of 1854. Over time, Grenville Dodge grew a reputation as the man who got things done thoroughly and efficiently and got them done on time for everyone who needed them. So this is part of Grenville Dodge's family. He was married to Anne Brown, like I told you, and he had 3 kids, one named Latita McGrumbly and Eleanor Pussy, and then Anne Dodge. And Latita they call Latita, Eleanor they call Ella, and Anne they call Annie. Grenville Dodge was born on April 12th of 1831 in Danvers, Massachusetts. Later in life, in 1906, he died in Council Bluffs, Iowa, on the date of January 3rd, at the age of 84 years old. He was also buried at Walnut Hill Cemetery. Grenville Dodge also graduated from the University of Norwich. When he graduated from Norwich, he graduated with a degree in engineering. He also graduated with a degree in military engineering services. This is a picture of the Illinois Central Railroad, which is the first railroad that Grenville Dodge worked on. So this is a map of the Mississippi and Missouri Railroad because later he ended up joining with them and working for them now. The person who was in charge of the Mississippi and Missouri Railroad's name was Peter Day. After he was done helping with the Mississippi and Missouri Railroad, he moved on to helping with the Chicago Railroad, where he was a forebear for it. The Chicago Railroad links east to west and north to south. The Chicago Railroad is also the single most important hub of the United States. While Grenville Dodge was a forebear for the Chicago Railroad, he was also a forebear for the Rock Island and Pacific Railroads. The Rock Island and Pacific Railroad, our fabled Chicago Rock Island and Pacific Railroad, was a legend of its own time. In 1870, Grenville Dodge was the chief engineer of the Union Pacific Railroad, which ran west to southwest. The Union Pacific Railroad ran out of Omaha, Nebraska, and the Central Pacific Railroad ran out of Sacramento, California. The 2 tracks linked together at Gold Spike Ceremony in Utah for the first transcontinental railroad service in the United States. In 1897, Grenville Dodge helped the independent Union Pacific Railroad get its own route to the Pacific, and he waited there until Edward H. Harriman took over when he joined William Van Torn overseas to construct of the Cuban Railroad. This is a picture of the Israel Railroad. Even though Grenville Dodge did not make it, I used this to show how tracks take over other tracks. So in 1900, there were over 400 small tracks that were taken over by big tracks. Grenville Dodge was promoted rapidly to the rank of the Brigadier General, which provided bridge and railroad construction labor. For example, one of the bridges that he built was 14 feet high and 710 feet long across the Chattahoochee River, and it only took him 3 days to build it. Overall, Grenville Dodge did a very good thing with the railroads, and he also made a lot of railroads in a short amount of time. They turned out really good, so in my mind, I would have to say that he is a very successful man in life and in history. Grenville Dodge was voted to be the single most important person on the building of the eastern half of the first World Transcontinental Railroad. Grenville Dodge's childhood home is now a National Historical Landmark. Fort Dodge in Kansas and Dodge City were named after Grenville Dodge, and Fort Dodge is an important Army base during the settlement of the western frontier. And these are my sources. I hope you learn more about Grenville Dodge. Here is another slide of sources. Here are just some more sources. Thank you for listening to my presentation on Grenville Dodge.